Alaska, where ice meets instinct. Reindeer, by the hundreds of thousands, cross glaciers in search of life. Beneath the waves, orcas hunt in silence. And in roaring rivers, millions of salmon fight upstream in a battle for survival. Brutal, beautiful, untamed. Only on Wildtracks. The Great Migration begins. Alaska bears witness to the Great Migration. The long winter finally begins to fade, giving way to the first rays of spring sunlight over Alaska's wild landscape. The southern taiga forests slowly awaken after months frozen under snow. The thick snow begins to melt, revealing patches of dry moss and lichen, the scarce sources of food that help the reindeer survive the harsh winter. But their instincts tell them this land cannot sustain the entire herd when summer arrives. From deep within my subconscious, an invisible command emerged. It was time to leave. From above, the reindeer herd looks like a living river flowing through deep valleys and snow-covered slopes. They create long, winding trails in the snow, following invisible paths once taken by their ancestors thousands of years ago. Each step leaves deep prints in the wet earth, marking the bent of the planet's greatest wild nomads. The pregnant females feel the pull most intensely. They know this is no place to give birth, not here among the dense forests and rugged terrain where predators can easily ambush. Far beyond the glaciers and icy valleys lie the Arctic plains, where the summer soil will be rich with fresh moss and young lichen, and the unopened space allows them to spot predators from afar. That is the destination the reindeer are headed for. And when the leader moves, the whole herd follows, joining the flow of one of the largest migrations on Earth. A relentless journey north. The reindeer form long lines, dragging their thin but sturdy legs across the cold ice. They pass through sparse pine forests, where ancient trees are withering after a brutal winter. Beneath the bare branches, they press on cautiously over thin ice, carefully avoiding newly thawed pools of water. Along the way, last year's young still stumble behind their mothers, their eyes wide with alertness. They've never faced a journey this tough, but they have no choice. If they fall behind, they become easy prey for wolves and bears. But danger doesn't only come from predators. It also comes from Alaska's unforgiving nature. As the sun slips behind the horizon, temperatures plummet, and the biting cold returns like a cruel reminder that winter hasn't truly left. Arctic winds howl across empty snowfields, slicing through the thick reindeer fur like sharp blades. Yet the herd moves forward in silence, undeterred. They know if they rest too long, death will come before any predator does. Each day, the herd travels dozens of kilometers northward. They move without rest, stopping only briefly to nibble at moss left exposed on rocky outcrops. The pregnant females remain at the center of the herd, protected by the strongest adult females. Days pass, and the reindeer draw nearer to the Arctic tundra, vast fields stretching endlessly toward the horizon. But one final challenge remains: crossing the melting rivers. The Yukon River winds like a giant serpent through forests and frozen plains. It is one of the longest and grandest rivers in North America, stretching over 3,000 kilometers from Canada to the Bering Sea. In winter, the Yukon is a silent, icy road. But when spring comes, the ice melts and dark waters rise, sparkling under the sun. The test of the Yukon. For the reindeer, the Yukon is more than an obstacle. It's a brutal test of nature, where life and death are only a heartbeat apart. The leader goes first, He stands at the riverbank, stomping the earth with his strong hooves and breathing deeply. After a moment of silence, he plunges into the icy water. The dark water envelops his body, and the bitter cold tenses his muscles. But he doesn't stop. His legs move steadily, and his long nose rises from the water to breathe. Seeing the brave leader leap, the others follow one by one, creating a chaotic but determined scene. The massive river fills with gray and brown bodies, battling the swift current. Antlers break the surface, trailing long ripples that catch the sunlight. The strongest reindeer swim with resolve, while the weakest struggle to keep pace. Even calves just months old must swim across alone. They try to stay close to their mothers, but the current is merciless. Some are swept aside, their terrified eyes locked on the far shore drifting further away. In the raging current, some are pulled under. Others hit icebergs, injured and exhausted. The pregnant females have a harder time. Their heavier bodies make them more vulnerable to the river's force. Yet despite the dangers, the reindeer press on, clinging to hope. Finally, the first ones reach the far shore. Their sharp hooves dig into the wet soil, pulling their drenched bodies from the freezing river. They tremble, but they do not stop. One by one, the others reach land, tired but still burning with the will to survive. They glance back. Behind them, a few unlucky ones are lost to the current. But there's no time for mourning. The journey continues, and if they don't move now, new dangers await. The humpback whale migration. The glorious summer days in Alaska are over. The sun no longer shines by day or night, and the cold Arctic wind sweeps down into the ocean. Beneath the deep blue water, a great change is underway. Schools of herring and krill, the main food source for humpback whales, have begun retreating into deeper waters, turning once lively seas cold and barren. This is a clear sign. The humpback whales, the great travelers of the ocean, know it is time to go. An adult whale emerges from the water, takes a deep breath, and then dives into a powerful descent. She is not alone. Dozens of others gather around her. The great journey begins. Unlike blue whales, which migrate alone, humpback whales travel in small groups, sometimes with up to a dozen members. They are in no rush. Each day, they swim about 100 kilometers through the frigid waters of the North Pacific. As sunlight fades toward the north, the ocean opens up before them into an infinite expanse. With no more abundant food, the whales begin a period of fasting that lasts the entire winter. During this migration, they survive solely on the thick layer of fat they stored during the summer. An adult can lose several tons of weight before reaching their destination. But the journey isn't always peaceful. Great challenges lie ahead. The orcas strike. The adults swim in formation, while the calves stay close to their mothers, protected within the circle of the pod. Every deep breath echoes like a drumbeat, breaking the silence of the ocean. But then, from afar, another sound is heard. It is not the song of a humpback whale, but high-pitched, sharp whistles. A dark shadow appears beneath the water. The predators have arrived. A pod of orcas, swift and deadly, approaches with incredible speed. They are not targeting the adults. Their eyes are set on the young whales, the weakest in the group. The mother whale reacts immediately. The pod tightens together in a defensive circle, flapping their tails vigorously to create huge peaks, trying to scare off the attackers. The adult humpbacks let out deep, desperate warning calls. But the orcas are relentless. They strike from multiple angles, forcing the pod to break formation. In a moment of chaos, one calf is pushed outside the protective circle. It panics, flapping its wings, trying to swim back to its mother. But it is too late. 3 orcas dart through the water like arrows, surrounding the calf and blocking its escape. The mother lunges forward, frantic. But 2 more orcas intercept her, forcing her to slow down. With perfect coordination, the predators push the calf further from the pod, isolating it completely. The remaining humpbacks have no choice but to flee. If they resist any longer, they could lose another member. The orca pod drags the stranded calf away, their sharp dorsal fins slicing through the water before disappearing into the dark ocean. In the deep blue sea, the sound slowly fades, leaving only the gentle waves, as if the chase had never happened. The humpbacks continue swimming south, but the memory of the attack lingers. The mother whale keeps calling out with low moans, desperate cries for help. But no one knows what became of the captured calf. Will it become food for the predators? Or will its fate be even more terrifying? No one knows. Only the cold, indifferent ocean holds the answers. A new beginning in warmer waters. After weeks of tireless travel, the cold waters finally give way to the warm seas of Hawaii, Mexico, and the Philippines. Here, the female humpbacks, after an exhausting journey, arrive to complete one of their most important missions, giving birth. A mother whale slowly swims toward shallow waters, where soft waves lap against the shore. Bit by bit, she turns, and at the most crucial moment of the journey, a new life is born. The newborn calf is about 4 meters long and weighs nearly a ton, but it is completely fragile. Without a layer of fat to protect its body, it must rely on its mother's milk, a rich source of fat that helps it quickly gain weight and prepare for its first journey in life. Every day, the mother guides her calf to swim, rise to the surface to breathe, and learn how to sing deep songs. A mysterious language passed down from generation to generation among humpback whales. The endless ocean surface reflects the golden sunset like a massive mirror bathed in light. Gentle waves caress the calm sea after a long day. But suddenly, the ocean stirs. A giant humpback whale bursts into the air. Its massive body rises above the water. Pectoral fins spread wide like giant wings. For a moment, it appears to float in the sky, the evening sun painting its smooth skin in shimmering gold. Then, boom, it crashes down, creating a massive column of water, its spray sparkling like 1,000 diamonds. The kings of the coast, stellar sea lions. The icy sea of Alaska, where white-crested waves crash against jagged cliffs and mist rolls in from the open ocean, is home to one of the most formidable marine mammals on Earth, the stellar sea lion, Eumetopius jubatus. Named after the German naturalist Georg Wilhelm Steller, these massive pinnipeds are true giants of the northern seas. Adult males, known as bulls, can grow up to 3.3 meters, 11 feet in length, and weigh over 1,000 kilograms, 2,200 pounds, rivaling small cars in mass. Females, or cows, are smaller but still impressive, reaching 2.5 meters and 300 kilograms. What sets stellar sea lions apart is their robust, muscular build, thick blubber for insulation against the subarctic cold, and their distinctive deep-chested roar, which echoes across coastal cliffs like the bellow of a beast from ancient times. Their powerful front flippers not only make them efficient underwater swimmers, capable of speeds up to 25 kilometers an hour, but also surprisingly agile on land, allowing them to climb rocky outcrops with ease. These sea lions are apex predators and social animals, often seen lounging in large colonies on rocky shores called haul-out sites. Males fiercely guard their harems during the breeding season, clashing with rivals in thunderous battles that leave deep scars on their thick hides. Yet, even kings of the coast must heed the call of the changing seasons. As winter draws near, the rich feeding grounds around Alaska become barren. Fish, such as Pacific cod, herring, and salmon, the sea lion's main prey, dwindle. Ice creeps over rivers and bays, and frigid storms churn the sea into chaos. Driven by hunger and instinct, the stellar sea lions begin one of the most extreme and perilous migrations in the North Pacific, leaving their home range in search of warmer waters teeming with life. The hunt in Secret Cove. After days of travel, the sea lions arrive in a hidden sanctuary, Secret Cove, a crescent-shaped bay carved into a rugged coastline where temperate currents stir schools of fish into dense clusters. The hunt begins immediately. Massive bulls dive into the turquoise depths, their torpedo-shaped bodies cutting through the water with explosive force. Every movement is a blend of strength and precision, creating whirlpools in their wake as they descend. Their target? The yellowfin tuna, sleek, fast, and immensely powerful. These fish are masters of the open sea, capable of bursts over 70 km/h, but they are no match for a coordinated ambush. The sea lions rely on group hunting tactics, herding the tuna toward shallow water, or trapping them against natural barriers. The ocean becomes a battlefield. Above, the air is alive with motion. Gray pelicans, with wingspans over 2 meters, glide in formation. They hover patiently, eyes locked on the shimmering chaos below, then dive with uncanny precision, plunging their bills into the frothing sea to snatch fleeing fish. Suddenly, the ocean explodes with movement. Sea lions burst out of the water, twisting in midair, spraying yum in every direction. Pelicans swoop down, talons grazing the waves. In this deadly collaboration between predator and opportunist, Secret Cove transforms into a fierce arena of survival. On the rocky shore, an adult bull sea lion drags himself from the water, his golden brown fur glistening in the sun. Clenched between his bloodied jaws is a massive yellowfin tuna, still writhing. With a sharp, powerful shake of his neck, he hurls it onto the stone, sending droplets of seawater and blood flying. With surprising delicacy, he uses his flippers to pin the slippery prey, then tears into the soft flesh. His jaws work with brutal efficiency, shearing muscle and tendon. Bright red blood stains the gray stone, a stark reminder that survival in the wild is never gentle. In the background, other sea lions continue their pursuit while pelicans wait for discarded remains. The scene is raw and violent, yet stunning in its primal beauty. A fleeting glimpse into the lives of predators ruled not by cruelty, but by necessity. The Red Warriors return. The salmon's final journey. Alaska, an untamed frontier of frozen rivers, towering evergreens, and snow-capped mountains, becomes a different world in summer. As the ice thaws and the rivers surge with meltwater, this pristine wilderness transforms into the arena for one of the most awe-inspiring and brutal migrations on Earth. It is a spectacle of endurance, determination, and ancient instinct. From the boundless Pacific Ocean, millions of sockeye salmon, known as the Red Warriors of the Sea, embark on a perilous return. After spending up to 4 years navigating the open ocean, reaching full maturity triggers an internal clock passed down through generations. This biological compass calls them home, back to the freshwater streams where they were born. The journey is a test of everything they are. It spans hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 miles, up rivers swollen with melting snow and turbulent rapids. The salmon must fight against powerful currents, leap up waterfalls, and dodge a host of predators. Every muscle in their body is pushed to the limit. They do not eat during this journey. They rely solely on the fat reserves stored during their time at sea. Failure is not an option, because at the end of this journey waits their only chance to reproduce. In the ocean, sockeye salmon are built for stealth and speed. Their bodies shine with metallic silver, deep blue backs, and pale bellies, perfect camouflage for the open sea. But as they transition into fresh water, a miraculous transformation unfolds. Their silvery coats fade into a bright blood-red color that overtakes their entire body. Their heads turn an olive green, almost alien in appearance. Males become even more unrecognizable. They develop a pronounced hump on their back and a fearsome, hooked jaw used to compete with rival males. This stunning transformation is more than just visual. It signals the beginning of the end, the final chapter of their lives. Their bodies are deteriorating even as they push upstream. Bones weaken, skin begins to rot, but their mission overrides everything else. To return to the exact stream, often the very gravel bed, where they were hatched years ago. Scientists believe they achieve this feat by using an incredible sense of smell, detecting the unique chemical signature of their home stream with astonishing accuracy. Once they arrive, a brutal climax awaits. Males battle each other for dominance, using their new jaws as weapons. Females dig nests, called reds, in the gravel with powerful flicks of their tails, laying hundreds, even thousands of eggs. The victorious males fertilize them, passing on their legacy. And then, their purpose fulfilled, the salmon die, returning their nutrients to the river and forest, feeding everything from tiny insects to massive bears. Their death gives life. This is the story of sacrifice, of warriors who return not for glory, but for the continuation of a cycle older than memory itself. The red warriors come home to die, but in doing so, they ensure the future of their kind. The salmon gauntlet: rapids, rocks, and predators. They face raging streams, sharp rocks, and steep waterfalls. But even more terrifying than all of these are the predators, always lurking, ready to turn this desperate journey into a deadly feast. Under the crushing pressure of the current, every salmon must use all its muscle strength to push forward. They swim through icy water, battling the flow, and then, suddenly, they leap high into the air, trying to clear steep cascades. But not all succeed. Some are flung backward, smashing hard against rocks, exhausted and swept away by the current. The weakest will never reach their final destination. For Alaska's grizzly bears, this is the most important time of year. They have waited patiently, standing right at the edge of the falls, where the salmon must leap to continue upstream. Massive bears, soaked in river water, scan the rushing current with sharp eyes. And then, like lightning, a salmonlet leaps. It's instantly snatched out of midair by knife-like claws. The fish struggles violently, but in seconds, the bear's powerful jaws have sunk into its flesh. From high above, a bald eagle watches every movement below. With extraordinary vision, it can see through the splashing water, pinpoint salmon swimming near the surface, and calculate the perfect moment to strike. This is the golden opportunity. But even with death on all sides, The sockeye salmon do not stop. They know that greater dangers still lie ahead, but their survival instinct is too strong to let them give up. They swim relentlessly. They leap again and again, no matter the losses around them, because for them, there is no path but forward. In Alaska, survival is not a choice. It's a way of life. From glaciers to oceans, from predators to prey, every heartbeat echoes the wild rhythm of nature. Brutal, beautiful, unstoppable. This is Wildtracks.